There are moments in life when we look at our situation and wonder, will this ever change? We look at the pain and we think the pain will never end. We look at our failure and we think we will always be defined by it. We look at our circumstances and we wonder if tomorrow can really be different from today. But there is something we must remember. Asterisk, time changes many things, but God remains faithful through every moment of time. The situation you are facing today is not necessarily the situation you will face tomorrow. The tears you are crying today may not be the tears you cry forever. The door that seems closed today may not remain closed forever. And the person you are today does not have to be the person you become tomorrow. God is still working. Sometimes God allows us to walk through seasons we do not understand. We want immediate answers, but God may be teaching us patience. We want immediate healing, but God may be building something deeper inside us. We want the mountain removed, but sometimes God gives us strength to climb it. We often judge our lives by one moment. God sees the whole journey. Think about how quickly life changes. A child grows into an adult. A seed becomes a tree. A dark night eventually gives way to morning. A wounded heart can begin to heal. A person who once lived in fear can learn to walk in faith. Time has a way of showing us that nothing stays exactly the same. But there is an important truth we must never forget. Asterisk, time itself is not our Savior. God is. We should never place our hope simply in the passing of days. Our hope must be in the one who holds every day in his hands. There may be seasons when you cannot see what God is doing. You pray, but you do not see the answer. You wait, but nothing seems to happen. You believe, but the circumstances appear unchanged. Do not give up. A farmer does not plant a seed today and expect a tree tomorrow. There is a season of waiting beneath the soil. There is growth that cannot be seen with human eyes. In the same way, God may be doing work in your life that you cannot see yet. Your prayers may seem unanswered, but God has not forgotten you. Your waiting may seem useless, but God can use waiting to prepare your heart. Your difficult season may feel empty, but God can bring purpose from it. Sometimes we want God to change everything around us. When He first wants to change something within us, He may be teaching us to forgive. He may be teaching us to trust. He may be teaching us to let go. He may be teaching us to stop depending on people and circumstances and start depending on Him. And when we look back after some time has passed, we may finally understand why certain things had to happen the way they did. There are things you are crying about today that you may one day thank God for. There are doors you are begging God to open that you may one day thank Him for keeping closed. There are delays that may eventually become blessings. There are disappointments that may redirect your life. There are seasons of loneliness that may teach you how to draw closer to God. Never assume that because you cannot understand your present situation, God has abandoned you. God is not limited by what you can see. He sees tomorrow while you are standing in today. And because He sees the beginning and the end, you can trust Him even when you cannot understand the middle. Time also reminds us that life is short. Every day that passes is a day we will never receive again. We cannot go back and recover yesterday. We cannot purchase another hour. We cannot ask the clock to stop because we suddenly realize how valuable time is. That is why we must ask ourselves an important question. Asterisk, what are we doing with the time God has given us? Are we using our days only to chase money, success, recognition, and temporary things? Or are we building a life that has eternal meaning? Are we holding grudges that are stealing precious years from us? Are we living in fear because of something that happened yesterday? Are we refusing to move forward because we are afraid of what tomorrow may bring? My friend, yesterday is gone. You cannot change what happened yesterday, but you can decide what you will do today. You may have made mistakes. You may have chosen the wrong path. You may have wasted years. But your past does not have to be the end of your story. God is able to redeem what has been broken. He can take a life filled with mistakes and give it new direction. He can take a heart filled with bitterness and teach it forgiveness. He can take a person who has lost hope and give that person a reason to rise again. This is why we should never say, "It is too late for me." As long as you have another day, there is an opportunity to turn toward God. There is an opportunity to pray. There is an opportunity to forgive. There is an opportunity to love. There is an opportunity to begin again. Time changes everything around us, but the greatest change happens when a human heart surrenders itself to God. Do not spend your life waiting for perfect circumstances. Do not wait until everything is easy before you obey God. Do not wait until you have everything you want before you become grateful. Do not wait until tomorrow to make the decision you know you need to make today. Tomorrow is not promised to us. Today is a gift. Use it wisely. If you have someone you need to forgive, forgive them. If there is someone you need to encourage, encourage them. If you have walked away from God, come back to Him. If you have been living in fear, place your fear in His hands. If you have been carrying a burden that is too heavy for you, bring it before God. And if you are waiting for change, keep trusting. The night may be long, but morning will come. The storm may be strong, but it will not last forever. The valley may be deep, but God can walk with you through it. You may not know what tomorrow holds, but you can know who holds tomorrow. That is where your confidence must rest. Time changes circumstances. Time changes people. Time changes seasons. Time changes our understanding. But God remains faithful. So do not be discouraged by where you are today. Keep praying. Keep believing. Keep walking. Keep trusting. The chapter you are living right now may not be the final chapter of your life. God can still write a new chapter. God can still restore. God can still heal. God can still transform. And one day you may look back at the season that caused you the greatest pain and realize that God was using it to bring you closer to Him. So remember this. Time changes everything, but God can use every moment for His purpose. Do not waste today worrying about yesterday. Do not destroy today fearing tomorrow. Give today to God. Trust Him with your past. Trust Him with your present. Trust Him with your future. And when the days pass and the seasons change, you will discover that the greatest security in life is not found in controlling time. It is found in trusting the God who is Lord over time. There are times in life when we do not understand what God is doing. We pray, we wait, and we ask questions. We look at our situation and wonder why things are happening the way they are. Sometimes we ask God for an answer, but instead of receiving an immediate answer, we receive another day of waiting. It can be difficult to understand why God allows certain things to happen. But we must remember that we do not see the whole picture. God sees what we cannot see. Many times, we judge our lives by what is happening right now. If things are difficult today, we think they will always be difficult. If a door closes today, We think there will never be another opportunity. If someone leaves us, we may think we will never be happy again. If we fail, we may believe our failure has become our identity. But time has a way of changing our understanding. What looks like a problem today may become a lesson tomorrow. What feels like a painful ending may become the beginning of something new. What seems like a delay may actually be preparation. What feels like rejection may protect us from something we could not see. Sometimes we only understand God's work after we have walked through the season. Think about a seed placed in the ground. When the seed is covered with soil, nothing seems to be happening. If you look at it for a few hours, you may think it is doing nothing. But underneath the ground, something is happening. The seed is beginning to grow. Roots are forming. Life is developing. You cannot see it, but that does not mean nothing is happening. Our lives can be like that. There may be seasons when you look at your life and see no progress. You pray for change, but everything seems the same. You ask God to open a door, but the door remains closed. You ask Him to change your circumstances, but nothing seems different. Do not assume that God is doing nothing. God may be working in places you cannot see. He may be changing your heart before He changes your circumstances. He may be preparing you for something that requires patience, wisdom, courage, and faith. He may be removing things from your life that you thought you needed. He may be teaching you to depend on Him instead of depending on people. Sometimes we want the blessing, but we do not want the preparation. We want the answer, but we do not want the waiting. We want the victory, but we do not want the lessons that make us ready for it. But God knows what we need. There are moments when we think God has forgotten us because our prayers have not been answered in the way we expected. But silence does not mean absence. Waiting does not mean rejection. A closed door does not mean that God has stopped caring. Sometimes God says, wait, because He knows what we do not know. You may not understand why a relationship ended. You may not understand why a job opportunity disappeared. You may not understand why your plans did not work. You may not understand why something you prayed for did not happen. But give it time. There are things that become clear only after we have moved forward. One day, you may look back and say, now I understand. You may realize that the thing you thought was destroying your life was actually changing your direction. You may realize that the door you wanted open would have taken you somewhere you were not meant to go. You may realize that the season of waiting taught you how to pray. You may realize that the difficult experience made you stronger and more compassionate toward others. This is why we must be careful about judging God's work too quickly. We often want to see the finished picture while God is still painting it. We see one small part of the story. God sees the whole story. We see today. God sees tomorrow. We see the problem. God sees the purpose. We see the delay. God sees the preparation. We see the loss. God sees what can still be gained. That does not mean every painful thing is easy or that every difficult situation will turn out exactly as we want. Life can bring real pain, real disappointment, and real loss. But even in those moments, we can trust that God has not stopped being faithful. Sometimes the greatest work God does in us happens during the seasons we would never have chosen for ourselves. A person may enter a difficult season with fear and come out with courage. A person may enter with weakness and come out with strength. A person may enter feeling alone and discover a deeper relationship with God. A person may enter confused and eventually discover a new direction. The change may not happen in one day. It may take weeks, months, or even years. But God is not limited by our timetable. We often want everything to happen quickly because we live in a world that wants instant answers. But spiritual growth does not always happen quickly. Character takes time. Wisdom takes time. Healing takes time. Trust takes time. Do not become discouraged because you are not where you want to be yet. You may not see the full change, but small changes matter. Every time you choose faith instead of fear, you are growing. Every time you choose forgiveness instead of bitterness, you are growing. Every time you choose prayer instead of worry, you are growing. Every time you continue walking when you feel tired, you are growing. Every time you trust God, even when you do not understand, your faith becomes stronger. There may come a day when you look back at your present situation and realize that God was with you all along. You may remember the nights when you cried. You may remember the questions you asked. You may remember the moments when you almost gave up. And then you may realize that you were never walking alone. God was there in the waiting. God was there in the disappointment. God was there in the silence. God was there when you did not understand. And God can still be there when the next chapter begins. So do not lose heart because you cannot see the answer today. Keep praying. Keep trusting. Keep doing what is right. Keep your heart close to God. Let time reveal what you cannot see right now. You do not need to understand everything before you trust God. Sometimes faith means continuing to walk even when the road ahead is not clear. Remember that a difficult season is only a season. It is not your whole life. A painful chapter is only a chapter. It is not the entire story. What you are facing today does not have to determine where you will be tomorrow. Give God time to work. Give Him time to change your heart. Give Him time to open the right doors. Give Him time to prepare you for what is ahead. And while you wait, do not waste the season. Learn from it. Pray through it. Grow through it. Trust through it. One day, you may look back and see that the answer was taking shape while you were still waiting. Time may reveal what your eyes cannot see today, and when it does, you may understand that God was never absent. He was working quietly, patiently, and faithfully, even when you could not see His hand. There are moments in life when a person looks at their own life and thinks, I have gone too far. I have made too many mistakes. Nothing can change now. Sometimes the weight of the past becomes so heavy that we begin to believe that our story is already finished. We remember our failures, our wrong decisions, our disappointments, and the people we have hurt. We may look at ourselves and see only broken pieces. But God does not look at us the way we look at ourselves. When we see failure, God can see the possibility of restoration. When we see a broken life, God can see a life that can still be rebuilt. When we see an ending, God can see the beginning of something new. No life is too broken for God to touch. A person may have made terrible choices, but those choices do not have to control the rest of their life. A person may have spent years walking in the wrong direction, but they can still turn around. A person may have lost their peace, their hope, and their confidence, but God can begin restoring those things one step at a time. Sometimes we think God only wants perfect people, but if that were true, none of us could come to Him. Every human being has made mistakes. Every person has experienced weakness. Every heart has needed forgiveness. God is not looking for people who have never fallen. He is looking for people who are willing to get back up and turn toward Him. Think about a broken piece of furniture. A careless person might look at it and say, "Throw it away." But a skilled person may look at the same broken piece and see something that can be repaired. They know where to fix it. They know what needs to be replaced. They know how to make it useful again. In a much greater way, God knows how to restore a broken life. He knows the places in your heart that are hurting. He knows the memories that still bring tears to your eyes. He knows the mistakes you wish you could undo. He knows the struggles you do not tell anyone about. And He does not turn away from you because you are broken. God can begin His work right where you are. Sometimes restoration begins with a simple decision. God, I need you. That prayer does not need to be complicated. You do not need perfect words. You do not need to pretend that everything is fine. Come honestly before God. Tell Him what is hurting. Tell Him where you have failed. Tell Him where you are afraid. Ask Him to forgive you, guide you, and give you strength to begin again. A broken life is not repaired in one moment. Change often takes time. There may be days when you feel strong and other days when you feel weak. There may be moments when old memories return and you wonder whether you have really changed. Do not give up. God can work through the process. He can teach you to forgive yourself after you have received His forgiveness. He can teach you to leave behind the habits that once controlled you. He can give you wisdom to make better decisions. He can place good people in your life who encourage you to keep walking in the right direction. Your past may explain where you have been, but it does not have to decide where you are going. Do not keep calling yourself what God is trying to change. If you have failed, you can rise again. If you have fallen, you can stand again. If you have wandered, you can return. If you have lost hope, you can begin believing again. The enemy may tell you that you are finished, but God can remind you that your story is still being written. There are people who once felt completely lost, but later became a source of hope for others. Their pain became a testimony. Their mistakes became lessons. Their weakness became a place where they learned to depend on God. Your brokenness does not have to be wasted. God can use even the painful parts of your journey to develop compassion, patience, wisdom, and strength within you. So do not hide from God because of your past. Run toward Him. Do not allow shame to keep you away from the one who can restore you. If you have fallen, reach out your hand. If your heart is tired, bring it to God. If your life feels empty, ask Him to fill it with new purpose. God can change a broken life. He can take what seems hopeless and give it new hope. He can take confusion and bring direction. He can take bitterness and teach forgiveness. He can take fear and build courage. He can take a life that has been damaged by poor choices and lead it towards something better. You may not become a completely different person overnight, but every day that you choose to walk with God, something can begin to change. One step at a time, one prayer at a time, one decision at a time, one day at a time. So never say, "There is no hope for me." As long as you are willing to turn toward God, there is a path forward. Your past is not greater than God's grace. Your failure is not greater than His mercy. Your brokenness is not greater than His power to restore. Give your life to God, even the parts you are ashamed of. Trust Him with the pieces you do not know how to fix. The hands that created you are able to rebuild you, and the life you thought was finished may become a beautiful testimony of what God can do when a broken heart finally places its trust in Him. There are times in life when waiting feels harder than working. We can work toward a goal and see progress, but waiting can leave us wondering if anything is happening at all. We pray for an answer, but the answer does not come. We ask God to open a door, but the door remains closed. We ask Him to change our situation, but everything seems to stay the same. During these moments, it is easy to become tired and discouraged. We may begin to wonder if God has heard our prayers. We may ask, why is this taking so long? But waiting does not mean that God has forgotten you. Sometimes waiting is part of the way God strengthens your faith. Faith is easy to talk about when everything is going well. When our prayers are answered quickly, it is easy to say that we trust God. But real faith becomes stronger when we continue trusting Him even when we cannot see the answer. Waiting teaches us to trust God's character instead of our circumstances. When everything around us looks uncertain, we learn that our hope cannot depend only on what we see. We learn to believe that God is still present even when we cannot see what He is doing. Think about a child waiting for a parent. The child may not understand why the parent says, wait. The child may want something immediately, but the parent may know that the timing is not right. In the same way, we may not understand why God asks us to wait, but He sees things that we cannot see. Sometimes God makes us wait because He is preparing us for something greater. We may want the blessing before we are ready to carry it. We may ask for responsibility before we have learned wisdom. We may want success before we have learned humility. We may want a new opportunity before our character has been prepared for it. The waiting season can become a training season. During this time, God can teach us patience. He can teach us to pray more deeply. He can teach us to listen. He can teach us to let go of control. He can teach us that our lives do not have to move according to our own timetable. Waiting can also reveal what is inside our hearts. When things do not happen quickly, our fears may come to the surface. We may discover how much we depend on other people, money, success, or circumstances to feel secure. But God can use this season to bring our hearts back to Him. Sometimes we want an answer from God when what we really need is a deeper relationship with God. We want Him to change our situation, but He may first be changing us. That change can take time. Do not be ashamed because you are still waiting. Do not think you have failed because your answer has not come yet. Some of the greatest things in life require patience. A seed takes time to grow. A child takes time to mature. A wound takes time to heal. A strong relationship takes time to develop. And faith also takes time to grow. There may be days when waiting feels peaceful, and there may be days when it feels painful. On difficult days, remember how far God has already brought you. Think about the prayers He has answered before. Remember the times He gave you strength when you thought you could not continue. The same God who helped you before is still with you now. You may not know when the answer will come. You may not know what the next chapter will look like, but you can choose to trust God one day at a time. Do not let waiting make you bitter. Let it make you stronger. Do not let waiting destroy your hope. Let it deepen your trust. Do not spend every day asking, when will this happen? Instead, ask, God, what do you want to teach me while I wait? That question can change the way you experience the waiting season. Perhaps God is teaching you patience. Perhaps He is preparing your heart. Perhaps He is protecting you from something you cannot see. Perhaps He is preparing another person. Perhaps He is opening a door that is not ready to open yet. Whatever the reason, you can trust that God knows what He is doing. There will come a time when you look back and realize that the waiting was not wasted. You may discover that the delay gave you wisdom. You may discover that the difficult season made you stronger. You may discover that the unanswered prayer taught you how to pray with greater trust. You may discover that while you were waiting for God to change your circumstances, God was changing your heart. So keep going, keep praying, keep believing, keep doing what is right. Do not give up simply because the answer has not arrived yet. God's timing is not always our timing, but that does not mean He has stopped working. Your waiting season has a purpose. Let God use it to build something strong inside you. One day, when you see what God was preparing, you may thank Him not only for the answer, but also for the waiting that prepared you to receive it. Until that day comes, keep your heart close to God. Trust Him when you understand, and trust Him when you do not. Because sometimes the greatest lesson waiting teaches us is this, asterisk, God is worthy of our trust even before we see the answer. There are seasons in life when pain feels like it will never end. Some wounds are easy for others to see, but some are hidden deep inside the heart. A person may smile in front of people while carrying sadness, disappointment, fear, or loneliness inside. Sometimes the pain is so strong that we begin to believe this is how life will always be. But pain does not last forever. The season you are walking through today is not the whole story of your life. Difficult moments can feel long, especially when we are in the middle of them. But seasons change. The night does not remain forever. The storm eventually passes. The wound begins to heal. The heart slowly learns to hope again. When we are hurting, we often want God to remove the pain immediately. We pray for the situation to change. We ask why we have to experience this. We wonder why God has allowed something so difficult to happen. Sometimes we may not receive an answer to every question, but we can know that God is near to those who are hurting. He does not turn away from a broken heart. He sees every tear, every silent prayer, and every moment when you feel like you cannot continue. You may feel alone, but you are not forgotten. There may be a morning when you wake up and realize that the thing that once caused you so much pain no longer has the same power over you. You may still remember it, but the memory will not control you. You may still carry the lesson, but the wound will no longer be as deep. Healing often happens slowly. We sometimes expect healing to happen all at once. We want to wake up one morning and feel completely different. But many times, healing comes one day at a time. One day you cry less. One day you begin to smile again. One day you stop blaming yourself. One day you forgive someone. One day you forgive yourself. One day you begin to look toward the future instead of constantly looking back at the past. These small changes matter. Do not become discouraged because you are still healing. A wound needs time. Your heart may need time too. If someone has hurt you, do not allow their actions to determine the rest of your life. You cannot always control what people do to you, but you can choose what you will do with what happened. You can choose forgiveness. You can choose wisdom. You can choose to move forward. You can choose to place your pain in God's hands. Forgiveness does not mean that what happened was acceptable. It means that you refuse to allow the pain to control your future. There are also times when pain comes because of our own mistakes. We may regret something we did years ago. We may wish we could go back and make a different choice, but you cannot change yesterday. You can only decide what you will do today. If you have made mistakes, do not spend the rest of your life punishing yourself. Learn from the past. Ask God for forgiveness. Make better choices and keep walking. God can bring something good out of even painful experiences. The pain may teach you compassion. The disappointment may teach you patience. The failure may teach you humility. The loneliness may teach you to depend more deeply on God. The difficult season may prepare you to help someone else who is walking through the same valley. Sometimes the person who has suffered deeply becomes the person who knows how to comfort others. That is why your pain does not have to be wasted. You may not understand its purpose today, but God can still use your story. Do not allow today's pain to convince you that tomorrow has no hope. Tomorrow can be different. Your heart can become stronger. Your faith can become deeper. Your life can begin again. There will be days when you feel weak. On those days, do not demand that yourself have all the answers. Simply take the next step. Pray, ask for help when you need it. Stay close to people who encourage you. Keep your heart open to God. And remember that you do not have to heal everything in one day. Give yourself permission to grow slowly. There is no shame in taking time to heal. The important thing is that you keep moving forward. One day, you will look back and realize that the season you thought would destroy you did not destroy you. You survived, you learned, you grew, you became stronger, and you discovered that God was with you even in the moments when you could not feel Him. So if you are hurting today, do not give up. Your story is not over. This pain is not your permanent home. This sadness will not define your entire life. The tears you are crying today can one day become part of a story of healing and hope. Keep trusting God. Keep walking. Keep believing that better days are possible. The storm will pass. The darkness will not last forever. And although you may not know exactly when the change will come, you can hold on to the truth that pain does not last forever, and God can lead you into a new season of peace, strength, and hope. Every day that we wake up is another opportunity to make a better choice. We cannot go back and change yesterday, but we can decide what we will do with today. This is one of the greatest gifts God gives us. Time gives us opportunities to change, to grow, to learn, and to become the person He wants us to be. Many people spend too much time thinking about their past. They remember mistakes they made and wish they could go back. They remember words they should not have spoken, choices they should not have made, and opportunities they ignored. Sometimes the past becomes so heavy that they stop believing anything can be different. But yesterday is gone. You cannot go back and live yesterday again. You cannot erase every mistake or undo every painful moment. But you can learn from what happened. You can take the lesson and use it to make a better decision today. God does not ask you to live forever in your past. He gives you another day because He gives you another opportunity. Perhaps you made a wrong choice yesterday. Today, you can choose differently. Perhaps you hurt someone. Today, you can ask for forgiveness. Perhaps someone hurt you. Today, you can begin the process of forgiving them. Perhaps you walked away from God. Today, you can turn back toward Him. Perhaps you wasted many years. Today, you can begin using your time wisely. A new day does not mean that everything will suddenly become perfect. It means that you have another chance to take one step in the right direction. Change often begins with a small decision. You do not have to change your entire life in one day. You can begin with one prayer, one honest conversation, one good decision, one act of kindness, one step away from an old habit, one step toward God. Sometimes we think our mistakes are too large to overcome. We look at the years we have wasted and think there is no reason to try anymore. But God can still work with what remains. Think about a broken road that is being repaired. The workers do not rebuild the whole road in 1 second. They work section by section. Little by little, the road becomes better. Your life can be like that. You may need to change one habit at a time. You may need to rebuild one relationship at a time. You may need to develop your faith one day at a time. You may need to learn patience one situation at a time. Do not despise small beginnings. Every good choice matters. Every prayer matters. Every step toward God matters. Time also teaches us that we should not keep delaying the changes we know we need to make. We often say, I will start tomorrow. Tomorrow I will pray. Tomorrow I will forgive. Tomorrow I will stop this habit. Tomorrow I will spend more time with my family. Tomorrow I will take my faith seriously. But tomorrow is never guaranteed. The best time to begin making a change is today. If there is something in your life that needs to change, do not wait for the perfect moment. There may never be a perfect moment. Begin with what you have and where you are. Maybe you cannot fix everything today, but you can take the first step. Maybe you cannot forget everything that happened, but you can choose not to let it control your future. Maybe you cannot change another person, but you can allow God to change you. This is where true growth begins. Instead of asking, why did this happen to me? Begin asking, what can I learn from this? Instead of saying, I will always be this way, say, with God's help, I can become different. Instead of believing that your story is finished, believe that God can still write another chapter. Time gives us opportunities, but we must choose what we do with them. A day can be wasted in anger, fear, and regret, or it can be used for prayer, love, kindness, learning, and growth. You may not have control over everything that happens to you, but you have choices about how you respond. Use your time wisely. Do not spend today's precious hours living in yesterday. Do not allow old mistakes to steal new opportunities. Do not let fear of failure stop you from trying again. God has given you today for a reason. Use it to become wiser. Use it to become kinder. Use it to become stronger in faith. Use it to repair what can be repaired. Use it to let go of what must be left behind. Use it to draw closer to God. And when tomorrow comes, make the same choice again. Little by little, day by day, your life can change. The person you become in the future is being shaped by the choices you make today. So do not waste this day. Do not say that it is too late. Do not believe that your past has the final word. As long as God gives you another day, you have another opportunity to turn around, begin again, and walk in a better direction. Time is moving forward, and every moment is precious. Let each new day remind you that change is possible, growth is possible, forgiveness is possible, and a new beginning is possible. Use the time God has given you. Make the change today. Every day we receive something that money cannot buy and no one can store for tomorrow. That gift is time. Every morning gives us another opportunity to live, love, learn, serve, pray, and become better people. But time is also something we can never get back. Once a moment has passed, it is gone forever. That is why we should never waste the time God has given us. Many people spend their lives waiting for the right moment. They say, one day I will change. One day I will get closer to God. One day I will forgive. One day I will follow my purpose. One day I will do something meaningful with my life. But sometimes one day never comes. We do not know how many days we have been given. We do not know how many mornings we will see or how many evenings we will experience. This should not make us afraid. Instead, it should teach us to appreciate today. Today is a gift. The time you have right now is valuable. Do not spend all of it worrying about yesterday. You cannot change yesterday. You cannot go back and speak different words, make different choices, or take back every mistake. But you can decide what you will do with today. Perhaps you have wasted time in the past. Perhaps you have spent years chasing things that did not bring you peace. Perhaps you allowed anger, jealousy, fear, or bitterness to control your days. Maybe you spent too much time trying to impress people who did not truly care about you. Do not allow regret to waste even more time. Learn from the past, but do not live there. If God has given you another day, use it wisely. Spend time with the people you love. Tell them that you care about them. Forgive when forgiveness is needed. Encourage someone who is struggling. Help someone who needs your support. Take time to pray. Take time to listen. Take time to become quiet before God. We often believe that only great achievements matter, but God can use small acts of love. A kind word can change someone's day. A simple prayer can give someone hope. A helping hand can remind someone that they are not alone. A few minutes spent with a lonely person can mean more than we realize. Do not think your time has to be used only for things that make you successful in the eyes of the world. Your time can also be used to make a difference in someone's heart. There is another reason we should not waste our time. Our choices today are shaping the person we will become tomorrow. If you spend your days learning, you become wiser. If you spend your days praying, your relationship with God can become stronger. If you spend your days helping others, your heart can become more loving. If you spend your days complaining, you can become more negative. If you spend your days worrying, you may miss the blessings that are already around you. Every day is building something inside you. That is why we must be careful about what we allow into our minds and hearts. We cannot control every event in life, but we can decide how we use the hours we have been given. Do not waste your time comparing your life with someone else's life. Someone else may be ahead of you in one area, but that does not mean God has forgotten you. Your journey is different. Your purpose is different. Your season is different. Do not waste your time trying to prove yourself to everyone. You do not need everyone's approval. Do not waste your time holding on to anger. Life is too precious to spend every day thinking about someone who hurt you. Do not waste your time being afraid of tomorrow. Tomorrow belongs to God. Your responsibility is to live faithfully today. And do not waste your time believing that you are too old, too weak, too broken, or too far behind to make a difference. As long as you are alive, there is still an opportunity to do something meaningful. You can still pray. You can still change. You can still forgive. You can still serve. You can still encourage. You can still grow. You can still turn your heart toward God. Maybe you cannot change the years that have already passed, but you can change what you do with the years that remain. Do not wait for everything to become perfect before you begin living with purpose. Life will always have problems. There will always be responsibilities, disappointments, and unexpected challenges. But even in difficult seasons, you can choose to use your time well. When you are hurting, use your time to pray. When you are waiting, use your time to grow. When you are blessed, use your time to help others. When you are strong, use your strength to lift someone who is weak. When you have an opportunity, do not keep delaying what you know is right. One day, we will look back and realize how quickly life passed. The years that once seemed so far away will become memories. The people we love will grow older. Our opportunities will change. Seasons will come and go. So live today with purpose. Love today. Pray today. Forgive today. Love today. Do what is right today. Do not keep postponing the things that truly matter. God has given you this moment for a reason. You may not know how much time you have, but you know that you have today. And today is enough to take one step closer to God, one step toward your purpose, and one step toward becoming the person He wants you to be. Do not waste the time God gives you. Use it wisely. Use it faithfully. Use it lovingly. And when the years have passed, may you be able to look back with gratitude and say that you did not simply spend your time. You used it to love God, love people, and make your life count. In the end, remember that time is one of the greatest gifts God has placed in your hands. You cannot hold it, stop it, or bring back the moments that have already passed. But you can choose what you will do with the moments that are still ahead of you. Do not spend the rest of your life looking backward with regret. Give your past to God. Do not spend your present filled with fear. Give your today to God. And do not spend your future worrying about what you cannot see. Trust your future to God. If you have made mistakes, begin again. If you have been far from God, come back to Him. If you have been holding anger in your heart, choose forgiveness. If you have been waiting for the perfect time, stop waiting and take the right step today. You do not need another year to begin changing. You do not need another month to begin praying. You do not need another week to begin loving people better. You have today. So use this day wisely. Use your time to build, not destroy. Use your words to encourage, not hurt. Use your strength to help, not to harm. Use your life to serve God and bless the people around you. One day, the clock will stop for us. The opportunities we have today will become memories. The words we could have spoken will be words we can no longer say. That is why we must not keep postponing what truly matters. Today is a gift. This moment is a gift. Your life is a gift. So do not waste the time God has given you. Walk with Him. Trust Him. Serve Him. Love others. Forgive freely. Live faithfully. And when you reach the end of your journey, may you not have to say, I wish I had used my time differently. Instead, may you be able to look back and say, I gave my days to God. I used my life for something that mattered. I loved when I could love. I helped when I could help. I forgave when I could forgive. And I trusted God through every season. The time you have today will never come again. So make this moment count. Make this day count. Make your life count. And above everything else, remember this. You may not control how much time you have, but you can choose how you use the time God has given you.